Thanks, Chrissy. Thanks to the Vertical Events team for the opportunity to present today as well. As the title to the presentation suggests, we offer investors an opportunity to participate in uranium and the copper space, two minerals that we're pretty confident are going to be strong for the foreseeable future. So the investment proposition for AuKing, and particularly now that we've acquired these Tanzanian assets, is we've moved into projects that were the subject of a significant amount of historic exploration work in Tanzania. A company by the name of Uranex, which are now Magnus, did an enormous amount of work up until about 2011 when the Fukushima disaster occurred and then the whole uranium situation changed. So we're moving into, we've acquired a heap of data with these licenses in Tanzania, and that's giving us an enormous benefit with their programs. Manyoni in particular, one of the projects in Tanzania, has an existing resource estimate. It's a 2004 JORC resource, so part of the program that we're working on at the moment will be aimed at updating that resource. And Makuju, which is more to the south, is situated right next door to a massive uranium project called Nyota, which is owned by Uranium One, a subsidiary of the ARMZ Russian group. It was sold for $1.1 billion in 2010. So it's a massive project, and we're sitting right next to it. We've already established since the beginning of the year a significant in-country admin and technical team. Our exploration manager, Chris Bitar, has been over there the last few weeks and been working with the guys and having a good look around. So we're very happy with how things are set up there now. And obviously, as I mentioned, we're well placed in terms of giving people an opportunity to participate in the uranium and copper sectors. So with the Tanzanian projects, with the Manyoni and Itigi, and I'll come to those in a minute, they're situated in the central part of Tanzania near the main centre of Dodoma. Makuju was more to the south, and there's a couple of greenfield copper plays over to the west near Lake Tanganyika. We own 100% of those licences. Some are still at the application stage and others are granted. So with Manyoni in particular, that's a series of different player lake-style uranium deposits. We have a series of licences over that ground. As I mentioned, it has an existing resource estimate. We do have an issue with a couple of the licences. We reported a couple of months ago there were some revocation notices issued by the Ministry, which we're working through an appeal process with the Minister, and we're hoping to have that resolved within the next month or so. So yeah, we've commenced the exploration program at Manyoni, and we're looking forward to adding to that story. As I mentioned, we're looking to establish a JORC updated resource at Manyoni, but also potentially increase the existing resource estimate by 10 to 20%. Itigi it was part of the original package that didn't really attract much attention, but we're now very focused on it because Chris managed to get his hands on some historic data that's never been made publicly available before, and it's given us a huge amount of confidence with and moving straight into a drilling program at Itigi. It's situated about 80 kilometres to the west of Manyoni, but it's a 40 kilometre by 10 kilometre radiometric anomaly, so it's massive, and we've got our hands on some historical results from 300 small, 1 to 2 metre deep trench samples that were taken. A lot of mineralisation, so we're going to move straight in with a drilling rig as soon as we have the underlying application. We're applying now to get the licence granted. We should have that in the next couple of weeks. We'll move in with a drilling rig, but we're very excited. Itigi could be something that becomes a significant part of our Tanzanian uranium story. As I mentioned with Makuju, situated that's Nyota to the in the north-western corner, so we're right next to that massive resource. And we're undertaking a significant program of auger drilling. I like the previous presentation showing the auger machine sitting on the back of the light vehicle. That's the same thing we'll be doing here, and a lot of soil sampling through that extensive area that we have under existing licences. So that's a more hard rock style of uranium deposit, but with that brings potentially very high grades. So overall, and there's a quick slide here dealing with the copper, which I'll move through quickly, but that's to the western part of Tanzania, based on historic, artisanal sort of small scale copper mining, but where we're looking to do some, get a team out there to do some field work over the next few months. But that's certainly, it's part of the activity, but obviously not the primary focus. So there's a lot going on in Tanzania. We're looking to have a significant amount of news flow coming out over the next few weeks and months. And we're really pleased with having, just picked it up in the last couple of months, so we're very happy with what's happened so far. Now I'll move to the northeastern Kimberleys in Western Australia, our Kunji Park project. We've got established JORC resources, 21.1 million tonnes across those 3 deposit areas. The 2 main ones, San Diego and Oneiden, are situated on granted mining licences, and they've been the basis of this project since we took it over in the middle of 2021. We currently have 87.5% under the joint venture arrangements. We've earned that through expenditure since the middle of 2021. We moved to 90%, and then that automatically reverts to 100% interest, and then a 1% royalty goes to the joint venture partner. So we've done a significant amount of work on this project, and that's established the precursor, I suppose, for the mine study, scoping study that's about 2 weeks away from public release. We're very pleased to be able to work with RIU Resources people. They have some significant deposits, all within about it's about a 10-kilometre radius where all these deposits are situated, and we're putting all of those together. The study's focusing on a central processing situation at San Diego itself, and using satellite deposits to feed that processing plant. So, yeah, we're looking forward to presenting the results of that study to the market within the next couple of weeks, and and that sets the tone for the rest of the year in terms of future activities. Just very quickly to highlight some of the results of our drilling over the last couple of years. In Oneiden in particular, there's a huge amount of metal sitting in these deposits. 105 metres at nearly 2% copper is not to be sneezed at. And then we've been very pleased with the work to date with our drilling, which has largely formed the basis for the resource estimates that we have there. Another part of our activity, as we're moving through the time here, we've also been doing quite a bit of metallurgical test work at Oneiden in particular, focusing on the near-surface material, oxidised and transition zone mineralisation. We're looking at the study, and the test work's been based on an ammonia leaching concept, and we're poised to start a pre-feasibility study as the next stage of that metallurgical test work. It's also part of the Commonwealth Government's R&D incentive program, and we're expecting a refund this year about $250K. But we're very pleased with the work that's been done on that to date, and looking forward to some more results later in the year. That's our board, led by Simwe Kabunga, and a very experienced team, sufficiently cashed up to carry out our exploration for the foreseeable future. Undervalued, we're all undervalued, but in terms of market cap. But no, look, it's a small team, but it's a very competent bunch of people, and yeah, we're looking forward to, as I say, I think the news flow that's going to come from our activities both in Tanzania and with the scoping study, we're really looking forward to presenting some strong news for investors. So by all means, come in and see us at the booth, and thank you for the opportunity, Chrissy. Ta.
That's okay, buddy.